Hello again, 102ers, and welcome to the spring semester. Hopefully this is the second video that you've watched so far, because that introductory video, which was listed first in the announcement, will help you get ready for the semester. If this is the first one you're watching, stop it right now and go watch the other intro. No, seriously. It will make life so much easier. Just go do it. Oh, good, you're back. Now that you've rejoined this wonderful experience, I have a very important announcement to make, and yes, I'm actually being serious this time. These videos that I'm going to give you every week are not meant to be a full lecture of the material. I will not record myself droning on for 80 minutes to discuss the material that you're supposed to cover. These videos are meant to be a quick introduction to the material, a bit of guidance where I see that students from the past got confused, and a bit of explanation on what's coming up. I hope to never have these videos really close to 25 minutes in length, although it does happen occasionally. These are meant to just get you moving forward. Now, if there are any questions about the material, either in the video or for the week, please reach out to me and ask. Everyone's always heard there are no stupid questions, but I disagree. The only stupid questions are the ones that you're too afraid to answer, and they go unanswered. Answering questions is quite literally in my job description. So please, just don't assume that you know what's going on. Verify you know what's going on. Okay? Okay. Anyway, let's just jump into it, shall we? Now, on the opening page, you should see the very first announcement, which is a doozy this week. It is a long one. It's got your introductory video, which you should have watched already. It's got the video that you're probably watching right now. It's got, underneath each video, a chapter listing that you can just skip right to the part that you need help with. Read, review, or view, depending on what's going on. I've got a few things I'd like you to review here, which you probably won't, and that's okay. It's just there when you need it. The material that we're going to talk about in a second for the learning materials for the week. And then I have another video for you, which is a long one. It's a 30-minute one, on how to select an appropriate topic, okay? That's also going to be on the schedule, but this is on the announcement. Make sure as you go through, I'm skipping over this. Start thinking about your argumentative and debatable topic. We're going to get into that. So it's going to help you. There's debatable topics listed here. Create a contact for me in your tablet or your phone. Make sure that you have my email, my name, my Google Voice number, my Zoom meeting ID. That way, anytime you need to talk to me, you have access to do that. Sometimes you might be at work and say, hey, I have a 20-minute break. I need to talk to you about something. Great. You've got my Zoom number. Let's do it. And you can set up your Brightspace account, which should be in your introduction, using these instructions right here. Okay? Then down here we have 2 assignments due, but we'll get to that in a second. Okay? Cool. So, getting back to the home page, the intro video launched you through what this page was and where everything is, so just glance to the right and look at the master schedule. Click on that, and you will get to, oh, there it is. There we go. First week, it's Unit 1, Week 1. Perfect. It's fantastic. It's right up top. As you can see here, I have 6 things I'd like you to look at. I have a video I'd like you to watch. I have a debatable topics list that I'd like you to do. And then I have the 2 assignments for the week. So, let's just jump right into it, shall we? In what is an exploratory research essay, you're introduced to the concept of, well, an exploratory research essay. Duh, right? Now, you can read through all of this at your leisure, but I think I might be able to help you grasp the basics. At this point, many of you have written a paper or 2 in your academic careers. Unfortunately, many of you have also been given a topic, told to find 1 or 2 sources, and then vomit that information back up onto the page for a very bored, very lazy teacher to look at and say, yeah, that's kind of what I expected to see. You're good. There's no real thought or actual process to the writing. It's simply an exercise to check off a few basics. This, friends, is not that. Now, once you select a topic for the semester, you'll be doing research to support your claim. As you do that, you're going to eventually be exploring the topic and figuring out which direction your thesis should go in. Why exploring? Well, it's because that shows your train of thought. That shows what you value and what you consider important. It's not just, I have to write a paper on the history of basketball in North America. No, you now have to understand the nuances and causes and effects of your topic. You will do that through directed research and an open mind. Now, as you can see on this page, there's a process. They simplify it for you, okay? That's what it should do. That's what it should demonstrate. This is the following steps, an overview of components, and so forth and so on. It absolutely starts with the topic. It's not meant to be fully formalized at the start, but you should have an idea of what you want to look into and maybe even your emotional attachment to it. Writing about prison reform is fine and dandy, but what's the argument? Why do you care so much about it? Once you figure that out, you can start to look into the articles and websites that provide you with a much clearer picture of what your thoughts might be. Make sure the source material that you find is able to address your initial questions. If not, you'll have two choices. Find new sources, or 2, formulate a new question. Once you've gotten through that, it's all about revising to make sure that you've put on the page what you mean to put on the page. Got it? Now, before you assign the paper itself, I have given you a proper directions and sample package for you to digest. So don't worry, I won't let you drown. So this is not assigned yet, but I wanted you to get a jump on it, and there's much worse ways to start than by looking at this lovely document I'm going to give you. Until then, however, you can look at the rest of this page and dive into the college-provided sample paper, which is right here. Oh, look at this. This is great. It really doesn't do much. You can look at the full text by clicking here and see what it looks like. Oh, look at all this material. It's a little bit better than that slide. And then you can actually download the full sample essay that the college gives you. But like I said, I have something a little bit better for you. And if you click back here, you'll see it's in italics, the Unit 1 Exploratory Research Essay Directions and Sample. I will not go over it at length today. I am going to show you where it is, here, and I'm going to show you what it is, this, and then you can review it with me, I think, next week or the week after. I can't remember. Anyway, what I've done is I've typed this up, and I have showed you basically the first couple pages of exactly what I want to see in the paper. You're going to need 3 to 4 well-written pages. You're going to need 2 well-chosen sources. You are going to need an introduction, which is a paragraph, a development or body, which is a minimum of 6 paragraphs. I always call it development. Other people call it a body, whatever. You're going to need a source summary, a source evaluation, a source 2 summary, a source 2 evaluation, and then you're going to have a development paragraph talking about a reflection. Before we do that, you're going to actually give me, where is it? The research methodology paragraph. So it's all in there. What does all that look like? It's so scary. It's okay. I'll get to that in just a second. We have our conclusion, which is a single paragraph. And then take a look at this lovely green text. A sample of a completed exploratory research essay appears on the next few pages. What do I mean by that? Oh my goodness. Take a look at this. I have a properly formatted APA title page, and then we get into an actual sample, a full sample. Here is our introduction. Here is our research methodology paragraph. Here is our first summary, first evaluation. Second summary, second evaluation. Research reflections, and our conclusion, followed by a references page. See, I told you I wouldn't let you drown. Again, we're going to go over that in much more detail when it's actually assigned to you, but that's where you can look at it and get a jump on it. Now, back here at the master schedule, you'll see that the next page is using CREDO, which is a database that we have access to. Personally, I can't stand CREDO. I find it to be overly and needlessly complicated. If it's something that you are comfortable with, by all means, go for it. It's not really difficult to use, but it's a search engine much like any other you've ever used. To be fair, they have cleaned it up a bit, and there's still a ton of material to sort through. It's not just the best place to search for topics, but you can at least see where some of the concepts are through the Explored Related Concepts Mapping feature. As you can see, options down here, and there's the mapping feature, and so forth, okay? So this will tell you exactly how to use it. But Mr. Christopher, where is it? Good question. If we go back to our main portal page, look over here on the right-hand side where you see Student Success Toolbox. There we go. And look down here where it says Library. Click on that, and you will see all the databases that we have access to. CREDO happens to be the second one down. You can click on there. It takes you to CREDO, no problems. However, the one that I really like is SIRS. So clicking on the SIRS opens up this page here, and you can search right here for a topic, or you can take a look at the trending topics. That would be the topics that are the most popular. You can take a look at the editor's picks, or the people who curate the page, what they feel are the best. As you can see here, extraterrestrial life is a big one all of a sudden. Deserts, national service. We have all this material here. If none of these look good to you, then you can actually go down here and choose a topic. Take a look at all the leading issues. These are all the really popular ones throughout. And let's say we want to talk about human cloning. We click on that and we get to a leading issues page where you can actually read a summary of the topic itself. We can take a look at the two basic viewpoints. It's pretty binary in that respect. We have some possible source material that you can look at. Down here we have some research questions that they ask. We always have some sort of an editorial cartoon. And then a timeline here of material out there that you can find. Not only that, but if you kind of like it, but you kind of don't, there's always related issues that you can find, like stem cells or genetic engineering or animal cloning. All of that works nicely. I really like it, but you can start with CREDO or SIRS to take a look around. But, at this point, I would say, where is it? There it is. It's time to stop and take a look at this video in here, because that will help you greatly figuring out how I want you to attack the topics, okay? Now, I mentioned that you'll be finding a topic, right? Of course I did it, probably like 15 times. Well, in what makes a debatable thesis or academic topic, there he is, there we go. We start to figure out the parameters of those directions. It's not just a fantastic explanation. That's what the video is for. But it's not necessarily a bad page at all, because it does highlight the high points. Make sure that you choose a topic that is indeed debatable. It must have a solid argument behind it. Make sure that you are assertive about it. Make sure that you're stating a specific direction, not just bringing up something that might have a controversy somewhere, but really no hope of siding with either camp. Make sure that you are reasonable with the topic. You can't let your heart lead. You have to be able to back it up, your ideas, with solid material. Hence, an evidence-based argument. An argument without evidence is not an argument. It's just an assertion. And that's just a pointed opinion. No bueno, muchachos. Finally, it has to be focused. Don't just say that the United States tax code is confusing. No kidding. What specifically are you going to tackle? So make sure that you're avoiding just plain opinion. Vanilla or chocolate ice cream, McDonald's or Burger King, Coke or Pepsi, Chevy or Ford. These are all opinions that don't have a right answer. You want to find something that you can argue, okay? Let's hit one more topic before I go really in depth, okay? In stages of debate in a topic selection, which is this one, they get a little serious in detail. As a matter of fact, I know the person who wrote this page. It wasn't me. And I know that she decides that more information is better than less, and I kind of agree with that, but there's really a lot here to unpack. There's nothing wrong with this page other than the fact that it's very focused and very wordy. There's nothing here that I disagree with, nor would I ignore. I highly recommend reading through it, but I want you to focus on the following things. First, how are you going to express yourself in the paper? What sort of thesis are you going to put together, and how are you going to start your research with the questions that you choose? Tentative argument thesis? Open-ended research questions? Understand that not all arguments are built by the same. by clicking on these accordion boxes, where is it? There it is. Boom, 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 and boom. So by clicking on these accordion boxes, you can see how arguments are more than just no and yes. Are we arguing that something is or is not? Who controls the narrative behind what is right and wrong? Why are they the experts? How did an event or a series of events cause something to happen? What are the results of certain events? Even though good and bad are inherently opinionated ideas, how do we discern what is socially acceptable and what is not? How do we change the ideas? And of course, my favorite, there's a big problem here. How do you fix it? Problem solution. Honestly, the best part of this page is the end. Don't look at things in a binary way. A range of positions is great. Figure out the gray while everyone else is focusing on the black or white. Did you know that if you flip a coin, there are actually 3 possible results? Everyone focuses on the heads or tails, but once in an amazing great while, that coin might actually land on its edge. Just because it's not common doesn't mean it's impossible, folks. Remember that. Now, before we go even deeper into this, I want to tell you what topics you absolutely cannot do, okay? Yes, this is also talked about in my topic selection video, which hopefully you've seen. But I feel that repeating it is very important, so you can't say, I didn't know. Now you have it in 2 places, okay? Anyway, after close to 20 years of teaching this class, actually it is over 20 years now, I have a small list of topics that are problems. I will never assign a failing grade because I disagree with your findings. But you will not do very well if you cannot support those findings, and that's where the issues come in. So what topics are on my no-fly list? Well, I gotta tell you, there are some topics I just hate. There are some topics I hate so much, so don't do them. What are they? Well, abortion is still on the list if you're writing about why those who have them are going to hell. But over the last few years, something very groundbreaking happened in this country. Roe versus Wade was appealed, and I've had a few students discuss abortion from a legal standpoint rather than a faith-based standpoint. I'll accept that topic. But if you allow your religion to seep into the argument, then it ceases to become a legal discussion. Not everyone has your faith. There are Christians, there are Jews, there are Muslims, there are Hindus, there are atheists, there are Jedi. Not everyone believes the same thing. It's the same basic principle if you want to write about same-sex unions. You're talking about faith more than anything? Well, it's got nothing to do with it, so don't do it. Another topic I cannot stand is college athletes should be paid. Boring. I've seen every permutation of that topic, and while I think student athletes work very hard, I'm tired of reading the exact same paper with the exact same sources. There's nothing new there. There's also newer legislation that is providing these athletes with some money for likenesses and naming rights, so the argument is fading away, thank God. Another overdone topic, legalizing drugs, most notably weed. Please don't do that. Please, God, don't waste the paper. Every time I see this paper, it only gets worse. Seriously. I know each and every source you're going to give me. They're all terrible. Don't do it. Childhood obesity is another one, but it's not because it's not a good topic. It's just terribly boring. I've read so many papers on fat kids needing to lose weight that I can tell you exactly how you're going to start the paper, how you're going to continue the paper, what sources you're going to use, and how you're going to conclude. There are no surprises there. Vaccines are another one. Why? They are scientifically and medically incontrovertible. They don't cause autism. The other garbage that you will bring up comes from mommy blogs and conspiracy websites. Don't waste your time or mine. Parenting styles and how one is better than the other. No. It's pure opinion with little proof beyond personal experience. I've seen this topic far too many times, and every time it was attempted, it was awful. Please, no. Social media is bad. No kidding. It's only opinion, and it's incredibly vague. If you insist on this avenue of thought, at least take the next step and focus solely on cyberbullying. That has meat on its bones, but social media is bad is just far too open of a topic, and it's completely unprovable to the extent that you need. Gun control! Not one person can write dispassionately about this topic. Trust me. You either own a gun or multiple and hate the people who want you to give them up, or you are fervently anti-gun and start throwing around insults to those who do own guns. Either way, it's not a good place to start, so don't do any of those topics, okay? Please. Finally, the Earth is flat and global warming doesn't exist. If you propose either of these topics, you aren't paying attention to the thousands of years of human history. You ignore science and geologic fact, and if you ignore all of that, you cannot be taken seriously, and you absolutely will fail the paper. Period. Now, to find some ideas in case your brain is in vapor lock right now, remember that you can go back to the DTCC portal page and click on the databases and go to SIRS, or you can take a look at this debatable topics list. This debatable topics list is not meant to say, hey, John, click on one of these and pick a topic. No, 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 no. What it is meant to do is, hey, I kind of have an idea about education. I wonder, oh, wait, yeah, I can talk about homework. Okay, great. That's a good question. And you can take a look at this and get you started. This is not meant to find a topic right now. It's meant to get you start thinking about a topic. However, if there is something in there that you really like, we can discuss it, okay? Let's just pretend that you can come up with your own, though. I'd love it. So, we are now done reviewing this material except for one page. Understanding Plagiarism. If we click on that, it's very easy. You need to look through it because the quiz that you're going to take this week is literally based on this document. I hate to be so dismissive in reviewing it, but plagiarism is exactly what you think it is. Academic theft and or cheating. I can sum up the entire page by saying this. Do your own work. If you copy and paste, you're cheating. If you get someone to write your paper for you, you're cheating. If you're reusing old papers, you're cheating. If you are getting generative AI to create all or part of your paper for you to save time and effort, you are cheating. Please just do your own work, because plagiarism is using someone else's work or something else's work and not giving them proper credit. All right, now let's talk about the assignments. We have two relatively easy assignments. The first one here is the academic integrity quiz. Clicking on that will take you here. And basically I have all these different links, including the Understanding Plagiarism document, which you should be reading, as well as the community college's official statements on academic honesty and academic integrity. Oh, look, I have actually linked Understanding Plagiarism again, and oh, look, the downloadable documents on it. You have no excuse. So once you're ready, click on Start Quiz and answer in full sentences. If you just start guessing, you're never going to get a good grade on it. Now, the other one is a little bit more involved, and honestly, I've used a version of this the entire time I've been teaching this class, which again is about 20 years. I'm going to have you do it a little bit differently than the other teachers, simply because I find it to be a little bit better to get you really thinking about your topic. Now, what do I want you to do? Well, I want you to get your feet wet by channeling your inner 101 memories and tell me about your thoughts relating to opinions and arguments. First paragraph, you're going to talk to me about what the definition of opinion is. What is your definition of a researched opinion? What makes them different? What's your different definition of an argument? In your opinion, how does someone actually win an argument? So all of this material gets you thinking. And then, paragraph 2, I want you to start talking about some of the topics that you choose. So give me at least 3 topics that you might be interested in. It might be something like, I don't know, cyberbullying, cyber terrorism, and overly bright headlights. Who knows? So you're going to go through and clearly explain what the argument is, why you're interested in the topic, and you're going to do this 3 times in that paragraph, okay? Once you're done, you're going to post it, and then you're going to go back and you're going to reply to at least 2 of your peers. I want you to find 2 other people that did it, and I want you to tell them what you think of their topics. Don't say, hey, that's great, or wow, they suck. Give me something more. This is an English class. It's a composition class. I want to see a lot of detail. I've actually given you a sample post down here. I kind of explained what I wanted to see inside each one of these so you can kind of look. But 2 really good paragraphs, and that's it, really. Easy peasy, right? And that's the week, kids. I know that some of you're absolutely dreading the semester due to all this material I dumped on you in the first week. I promise it won't always be like that for the rest of the semester. I would think that 80% of you got what I would think that 80% of what you got this week was a cover your butt sort of thing to ensure that you know about the course and where we're going. From now on, there's only a single video each week as well. Couple that with the chapter listings at the bottom of each video, and you'll be able to guide through them very easily, okay? Plan ahead, email me when you need me, and I'll be looking forward to seeing your topics by next Sunday. Have a great week and stay safe.